Hi there, this is Åsa with another process video. And today I'm making a double page spread, and I have so many photos you have never seen it before. I can promise you that. Not even on my channel. These are from our day at the zoo, and at this zoo they not only have animals, they also have a park, like an amusement park. And it was the first year, last year, that it was open. And this is a theme park for a Swedish like cartoon figure. It's a bear and he's called Bamses. And this is like a cartoon or a comic book or like a cartoon series that's been around for like ages. I bought this magazine when I was a kid, and I love it. It's so Swedish, you can't imagine Sweden without it. And these characters, they have such a like a huge part in what's our nationality and the feeling of being Swedish. So this is, it had to be perfect. They couldn't make this and kind of Disneyfy it like they did with Pippi Longstocking. That would have been totally impossible. Oh, here's the character. That's Bamse. Anyway, and we heard that they were making this theme park, and we didn't really know what to think, because you don't want to have your expectations too high when you go to see this kind of event. But when we got there, it was like childhood just came back and grabbed you by the hand, and you got to walk into this, like the world that you had read about since you were a kid. And we have also, of course, bought these magazines for our kids, and we are reliving the stories and the getting to know the characters again, and just loving them again. And when we stepped through the gate and we got there, everything was perfect. It was such a positive feeling, and we were so happy about this, and the kids loved it. They had free rides, so a couple of rides that you could go there. It was one of those boats that swing back and forth, and they had a small roller coaster and cars that drove around on a track, and like these teacups that spin around. And the rides were free. The only thing you had to do was stand in line, but we had a slight rain, and it wasn't that many people at the park when we were there, so we just could go on as many rides as the kids wanted to. We didn't have to wait. It was just perfect, and all these lovely houses from the books and the cartoons and the magazines, they were just perfect. It looked like exactly as we had imagined it, and the way it looked in the pictures, in our memories, and in the movies and everything. It was such a wonderful event, and I took so many photos. I couldn't even imagine making something less than a double page spread. So this will be a double page spread with a 6x12 insert in between. And since it's a double page with a title that stretches from the left to the right side, it's a bit odd to have a 6x12 page in the middle, because it's kind of blocks the title in the middle. But I need to be okay with this, because I needed to have that extra space. I showed you just in the beginning of the video a pamphlet, or like a program that we got, and that's the kind of the entry or the symbol for this amusement park, and I wanted to add that as well to the layout. So that's the reason why I didn't choose a pocketed page protector as the middle piece. So this is a whole 6 by 12 like page protector, and that's the first time I used that, but and I really liked it. It was a really nice thing to have, and to have the possibilities to stretch over the whole 12 inches. This is a paper from one of my pads. I think, I don't remember what brand it is. Anyway, it has like vintage kind of feel, speech bubbles on one side, and now I'm a bit lazy because I'm not really going to use that pattern, but I wanted the shape of the speech bubbles, so I will be using the opposite side of the paper, which is like blank white, and I just needed the shape, so I'm cutting out the speech bubbles and I'm turning them over so that I get white speech bubbles. And here I'll be writing my journaling. In these photos, even though there are lots of details, I also have a lot of empty space, or space where there's not important information. So I will be placing these speech bubbles on the ground, on the sky, on the trees, where nothing really important happens. And then I'll be typing, I think on the computer, lines with the text that I want to add, and I will write it in a font so that it looks like cartoon or comic book kind of a childish script or font. And here you can see that. Now I've sped up this video a bit because this took me quite a long time to make this layout, so this is ×8, and I hope you don't get motion sickness, but at least the camera is still. Anyway, I'm cutting those strips out, and I'm cutting the sentences into smaller pieces so that I can place them in these bubbles, and I'll be doing that for a while. It took forever. The title I've cut out in a font that was as close to a childish font that I could find. It's a bit bubbly here and there, and it's soft around the edges. And I have these two tags. Those are actually tags from, I think they are from clothing, or if my kids have gotten stuffed animals or something like that years ago, and I've saved those. And this was the perfect moment to use them. So they are from totally different times, and I have saved them in my box of bits and pieces just to use them for this kind of event. I have lots of those stuff, and I thought they were perfect, and I really wanted to highlight these two tags in my title, so that's what I did. I also wanted to have some more like symbols of these characters, because the characters aren't in the theme park really. They had a theater where they were dressed up like these huge cartoony characters, and when we went to watch that theater, the event was cancelled because of rain. They couldn't walk around in these huge costumes during the rain. It would have destroyed the costumes. So we didn't get to see the characters in their dresses or costumes. So I have not a lot of photos of them, and I wanted them to be present anyway in my layout. So I went on the internet and stole a couple of photos, or no, pictures, and just JPEGs that I found on different search engines, and I printed them on some fairly thick cardstock in my photo printer, which I love, and I'm using these as decorations on my page, embellishments on my page. And I'm not really sure that you are allowed to do that, but I don't care really, and I'm pretty sure that I'm a horrible person because of that, but I admit I didn't ask for permission to use these pictures. Anyway, oh, don't hate me. Now I'm on to these 6 by 12 extra layouts in the middle. And like you saw in the tags, it's bright yellow, it's bright blue, and it's a bit of red. It's the kind of the colors for this character, and I wanted to use blue and yellow, so I made one yellow page and one blue page, and I will almost completely fill these cardstock sheets up with photos and the other stuff that I want to have on the page. And these photos that I have for these pages are a bit smaller. I think I printed 3 on each paper, and that made it a lot easier to fit them on this format. I have never worked in the 6x12 format before, and so it has a kind of limitations due to the small width, but I think it was fun anyway to do it like this. And I needed to crop the photos quite heavily, those that weren't small from the beginning, but that's okay. And some of them I even put in the waste bin because they didn't last. They didn't make the final cut, so to say. But this was kind of fun. It was kind of a collage kind of scrapbooking thing, and a bit old school feel about the whole thing, with the memorabilia like this program and all these overlapping photos, and the pictures that I had printed out, they almost look like stickers. It's something very traditional and very old school about this page, and I have no problem whatsoever with that. This is my way of commemorating this wonderful visit at this theme park. So now I'm just gluing everything down, and I'm adding those small pictures that I had left, and I got an empty space there and I needed to fill it up with something, so I went with a small piece of yellow cardstock on the blue sheet and a piece of blue cardstock on the yellow sheet. And this is I was really pleased with the whole thing. This is something that's totally different from everything else, since you have a color theme from the beginning. I wanted to like have the feel of this cartoon character already in the color of the page, and then I wanted it to almost look like a cartoon page with the speech bubbles and everything, and the characters. So it's completely different than anything that I have done before, and I love it. It was such a wonderful moment and a wonderful experience to see this great display of these books and cartoons. So just a short notice about these characters then. The bear, Bamse, he is the kindest on the planet, and he has this kind of honey that his grandmother cooks for him that makes him super strong. And then he has 2 really close friends. It's the little rabbit, who is very, very scared of everything, and eventually becomes the brave one and do adventures and do stuff that he normally wouldn't have done. And then there's the turtle, the brain, the scientist that come up with wonderful inventions and innovative fantasy stuff, and who saves the day in his way. And these characters go on adventures and saves the day for animals in the forest where they live. And yeah, you see them there on the small picture. And on that high mountain there, Bamses' grandmother, she lives there, and she cooks this honey that he drinks to become super strong. So it's super cute. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon again. Take care. This is Åsa. Bye.